go. Yeah, perfect. Looking good.
Oftentimes when I'm at a shoot, I'm almost always asked a lot of questions as to what we're doing, or also just getting a lot of stares, so I've gotten very comfortable with taking photos in public. Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is Anna. I am a portrait photographer in the Denver, Colorado area, and today we are here with Lexi in downtown Littleton. The equipment that I was using that day was the Sony a7 III, along with my 85mm lens, and had a transmitter on top of that, which then connected to my Godox AD200, and that was in a softbox and held up by a light stand. In that specific day that we were doing the shoot, we realized that it was raining off and on. So at the time that we had set up, we had just a couple of minutes before we can get some good shots, and it was going to rain again. Since Lexi is a performer and I've been doing photography outdoors for a very long time, I tend to often forget that new photographers might have some struggles taking photos outside, especially because there will be a lot of people staring. So here's what I've learned through the entire process. For starters, I feel like humans are naturally just curious, so if they happen to see someone doing something outside that they don't normally see, you're often just going to get stares, but most of the time I've just seen people just look and then walk away. So this is the photo that we're going to be editing today. The off-camera flash was doing most of the heavy lifting, so there's only a couple adjustments that I really want to do here. With off-camera flash, it can sometimes become very dark in the background because there's such a high contrast. So I like to bring in those shadows and boost them up, but also use the Lightroom enhance and noise reduction feature. So that way I can make sure that when I am increasing the shadows or brightening up those shadows, I'm not only introducing a lot of noise when I do that, but I also want to make sure that I remove that when I'm using this feature. So it's a really nice thing that I've been using lately when I'm doing my off-camera flash shoots, just because sometimes the really high contrast can introduce a lot of noise and that can cause a lot of problems, or just the way that the photo will come out. So once you have that done, you have your denoising effect, and you can go ahead and go into the right hand side and go into the subject selection and go ahead and select your object. I went ahead and picked Lexi and brought the exposure up, but also reduced the highlights just because it was a little bit too bright. So once you did that, you pretty much have your final edit, and this is the result. As an extroverted person, I find it very easy for me to be able to be out in a public setting and take initiative, and sometimes that is hard for me to remember when there are other photographers that are introverted or are just starting out and don't feel as comfortable as I do when I'm out at a shoot. So one thing that I would recommend for people who are just starting out or are very introverted is to start taking pictures of your friends and family first, because these are people that you know and you'll feel way more comfortable doing those photos than if you are taking pictures with a stranger. But I will say, over time, as you take more and more photos with more people or start to meet new clients, you will then start to feel very comfortable and it'll be a second nature for you. When I'm at a client session, I almost always try to crack a couple jokes or try to be a little silly, because this allows your client or your model to be very open and also feel very comfortable around you. One thing that I really like to do, and Lexi was great in this instance, is that she was also very open and friendly, and this could build a very strong connection between you and your client, and they could be more comfortable later on at the end of the session. So I always try, especially if it's someone that I've met for the very first time, to try to build almost a friendship with this person, because they will feel way more comfortable in front of the camera when you do that. Once you have gotten very comfortable in front of your friends and family to take their photos, I would highly recommend to start networking and build your clientele. If you're interested in some tips and tricks on how to photograph family photos, I have a video created, and that will be listed up here as well as in the description box below. If you have any photography related questions or any topics that you would like me to cover in my next YouTube video, I am almost always available in the comment section, so feel free to leave a comment down below. I want to give a big thank you to Lexi, who was the model for the day. All of her social media will be listed down below.